pit lane, neatly out of the way. But certainly these two well ahead of any of the rest. This is the position they finished the first 5 laps. They were equally close, so really Johnson has to get ahead of Murphy there to get through. And there Murphy made a bit of a mistake. He was sliding too much through paddock, and all of a sudden you can see the difference when Johnson plays right in on him. So just one simple little error like that by Rob Murphy, sliding the car too much on these slick racing cars tyres, and Matt Johnson was right at snapping at his turn. And now he's looking up the inside for Surtees, and cleanly through. I think that was surprising, but not cleanly through. Well, Rob Murphy made a mistake coming out of Graham Hill Bend, lost his momentum on the bottom straight. Matt Johnson thought he was through, I did too, but Rob Murphy held on bravely around the outside to keep that second place. Ragged through Paddock Hill Bend, this time not so bad, and Johnson doesn't close so much. But Matt Johnson very good under the brakes there up to Druids. He seems to close in hard from Paddock to Druids, but then Rob has the measure of him, this time not making a mistake through Graham Hill Bend and holding on to Surtees. Second place goes on to top straight. Rob Murphy still holding sway over Matt Johnson. But while they're embroiled in their little battle, they're still well clear of fourth man there, Colin Lees. Fifth on the road is Piers Honeysett, who's penalised 10 seconds, but they're moving up very well indeed is young Cal Foster, someone who hasn't done karting and is just very little experience, but as I've said, under David Sears' management, he's really moved up strongly this year and is looking to maybe try and get that place off Colin Lees. In the background, just out of Druids, behind Cal Foster, is Emily Newman, still running very strongly. In both parts of the race, she's sadly made poor starts, but once up to pace, she's been on the pace of all these cars ahead of her. So there, Cal. Emily, in fact, closing a little bit on Cal Foster. She was much further back when she finally got past Cameron Binney that she'd been trapped behind, and really she's driving very well indeed on her own. With only 2 laps remaining, she's unlikely to move much further up, driving very neatly, but unlikely to catch Foster ahead. Foster, hopefully, in the last 2 laps, might be able to usurp first Honeysett and then Colin Lees, but that remains to be seen. Colin Lees, Piers Honeysett, Cal Foster, down bottom straight. Through Surtees, a back marker ahead of them could always be a problem. The leader now already gone on to his last lap. Jonathan Bancroft, as we rather expected, has stamped his authority on this race and disappeared into the distance. There's still a spirited battle for second between Rob Murphy and Matt Johnson. Rob holding on very well indeed. But here the fourth place battle meets the back markers. Colin Lees, in fact, slowing out of paddock. And up to Druids, there's all sorts of... All of a sudden, Colin Lees slowed. Honeysett's trying to go around the outside. The back marker's in the way. And strange happenings there, but Colin Lees holds on to fourth place despite slowing out of paddock. But meanwhile there, Jonathan Bancroft wins the first round of the Grandstand Trophy. A very easy, dominant victory for the Englishman. Experienced, a very fast, highly talented Englishman that needs some more experience and money. But here, the battle for second. Rob Murphy holds sway, wins an excellent dice with Matt Johnson. A very impressive first Formula Ford 2000 race for Rob Murphy. But fourth, a big gaggle. It's just Lees, Honeysett and Foster in that order. So, the result... A very good result for Jonathan Bancroft, an impressive victory for him. Second, equally impressive in terms of experience, Rob Murphy, then Matt Johnson. Fourth, Lees. Fifth will actually, in the end, be Cal Foster due to Honeysett's penalty, and therefore sixth will be young Emily Newman.
There's more of that from Brands Hatch in next Saturday's Grandstand. Now, we give you no respite, do we? Because at 7:15 tomorrow morning, you'll be able to see the Japanese Grand Prix. There's confirmation of it. Highlights if you can't make it. If you're not resilient enough,